Okay, good afternoon, everyone. So today we'll start with our next lesson, and in this lesson we will learn how to animate with the anticipation and overshoot. First, we will look at overshoot, and then we will move to anticipation. We will do a small exercise to see how anticipation and overshoot works. But before that, one thing that I want to address over here is from the last lesson. If you remember, we have gone through ball exercise and pendulum exercise in the last lesson. So ball exercise actually helps you to animate any character's hips, okay? Because it actually work with the ease in and ease out that shows the impact, okay, like dropping or attracted towards the uh, like gravity. And the pendulum exercise helps you to animate arms, like swinging arc effect it gives you. Moreover, you can say kind of a effect that shows the animation principle of overlapping and follow through, drag and wave, that like those kind of thing, which works with the arc actually. So these are the things that you have to keep in mind, that of if you practice more on the ball exercise, so you will able to animate the hips of the character like more correctly. And if you practice more on the pendulum exercise, you will be able to animate the arms of the character more correctly. Okay, so these are really important two factors here. Now we'll move to overshoot, and first we will see what overshoot is and how it help us to animate and what kind of effect it gives us. So overshoot basically is like a delay in the animation, a good delay that gives a quite understanding to the viewers who are watching your animation. Because if everything runs on the same speed and is in a constant speed and keep on running back and like without any sort of delays, so it is little hard to understand what's going on. So overshoot helps to create those kind of delays, which gives an audience some time to understand what's going on in the animation. So that's what the overshoot is. So let's see an example over here of the overshoot. Now I will show you a ball animation here, which is without an overshoot. So if I will press here and play this animation, you will notice that it's a ball animation jumping, and nice tangents are there. Okay, it looks good. Impacts, ease, nice, easy and ease out, goes in the air, comes back. Everything looks fine. But there is something missing. And what is missing basically, if you will notice that, it's like ball comes like it goes up and comes down, it goes like flies in the air, comes down, bounces, comes down. So there is not much of a time delay over there for you to observe the animation for a little while. Okay, so let's do let me hide this normal overshoot animation here and play the regular animation. Sorry, I will hide the regular animation, and now I will show you the overshoot. Now just notice in the overshoot, you will find this is more interesting, more appealing. Just notice when the ball bounces and goes in the air, it stays in the air for a while. This gives the viewer time to understand what's going on in the animation itself. Okay, so if I will show you both of these balls, notice this one over here is the regular animation and this is with the overshoot. So notice how the animation basically is creating a nice effect over here. So I hope you have understood about the overshoot, how the overshoot helps you to animate. So we will be using overshoot in many cases, especially on the hips when it goes in the air. Okay, so we will make the character stays in the air for a while and then allow him to come back. So that's what the overshoot is. Now let's see the anticipation here. Now, anticipation is a animation principle I've explained before. So if you have not gone through it and if you don't know about it, you can follow my animation principles lecture, and the link is given in the description below. And if you will go through this lecture, you will find I have explained the anticipation and many other animation principles in detail. But in short, I will explain what the anticipation is. Now I have an animation here. Let's open it up. I have a animation here of a character. He jumps in the air and then he comes down. And this is without anticipation. So he quickly jumps and come down, and then he lands on the ground in the end. So let's see the animation. He jumps and comes down. Now there is an issue over here. He's jumping, that's fine. We were looking for the jump. But he just jumps without any sort of a warning, without letting you know that he's going to jump. So you were not expecting this result because you were not predicting anything. So if I make the character predict, if I make him first show you a sort of an action that he is going to jump so that you can easily predict what he's going to do next, that thing is known as anticipation. So again, if you want to go in more detail, the link of my animation principle is given in the description below. You can go there. Now let me show you same animation, but with the anticipation. Now in this animation, he is going to jump, but not like he was jumping in the last video, because in the last video, without giving you any warning, without giving you any sort of a an idea that you can predict what he's going to do. So let's play this one. Now if you will notice that same sort of animation, but more of dynamic. What he is actually doing is that he's giving you a sign that he is going to jump. And where is that sign? This part. He rolls down just to tell you that he is going to jump. And then he jumps in the air and comes down back. Now that what is the anticipation. So where he goes down gives you a sign that he is going to jump. Just notice when he's coming down, his face is looking upwards, in this direction. That also shows where he is going to jump in the air. Like this is where he will be in the air at this part. So that is also showing. His arm is showing that how far he is going to jump, like how much pressure he will apply in his action. So that is showing here on his hands as well. Okay, as his feet as well is doing like the same thing, like he is going to apply a pressure to his feet and then he is going to jump. So this is basically anticipation. Okay, so this is what anticipation is. It's all about giving the viewer a sign that what the character is going to do next. So without anticipation, you will not understand what's going on, because the animation will happen all of a sudden and you will not understand what you are supposed to watch and what is going on. So with the help of anticipation, at least you can predict and you will get your idea about it. And then you can move to the other part. Okay, so that's what the whole anticipation is all about. Now, we'll do a small exercise of anticipation, and we will create a jump scene. So jump to create a to better understand how the anticipation work, the best exercise is the jump scene. Just like and squish and stretch, the best exercise was the ball exercise. To understand drag and wave and follow through or overlapping uh, animation principle, the best exercise was the pendulum exercise. Same thing to understand more about the anticipation principle, the best exercise is the jump exercise. So we will go through the jump exercise and we will work on our free rig that we have been working since our last classes, which is about the basically the like the bony character that like the one that we have. So we will move to the bony character here, and you can see on the screen I have this character. Now the ideal thing and which I recommend you to do is that go through internet and find some references. I got a reference of a jump scene, and my reference kind of look like this. This is what I got from internet. I just typed over there jump scene sequence, and I got this one. So I have like a neutral pose, then it do an anticipation, then the character jumps in the air, then he's in the mid-air, and then he comes down and he recovers. So all these are the keyframes, and I have to follow these to create a nice animation. I can change them if I want, but best is to stick with it as much we can. Hello Tasham, how are you? Okay, sorry, I'm not just reading the messages because my screen is not on the messages right now. But time to time, I go back to see the chat. Okay, so what we will do here is that first of all, let me move it out. We will set timing over here. So I will start from frame 1 till frame 50. Okay, so I made this timeline a little bit bigger so that easily I can see what's going on. Okay, and especially when you create bookmarks, it becomes more easier for you. So I'll tell you how you can create the bookmarks and how you can uh, work with it and how it will help. Okay, now we will do the anticipation exercise. But before doing that, let me tell you one more exercise that we are going to do with the anticipation exercise, and that is blocking the animation. Usually, we have been working on tangents, different sort of tangents. But when you do a complex animation or a longer animation, then instead of doing the whole spline things at the same time, you block the animation without any sort of splines. So your animation will look blocky. So once your blocking is done, then you will decide where you have to put the spline and where you have to put the flat, where you have to put the linear, and those kind of things we will do. So that also in between we will be doing. Now here, I will first move my character a little bit back here. Okay. Now I could go to left viewport here, but the issue is that I will not be able to see him in perspective. So I have to use my perspective viewport. Ideally, the best viewport to work on is your orthographic use, but in this case, the best will be our it will be our perspective viewport. So let me make this always on top so I can see it what we are doing. So first thing, I got the character here. Now I need a keyframe. So I will select the whole character to create an initial keyframe, because all the time whenever you want to animate, you should have an external key, like a keyframe, basically initial keyframe. So I will just press S on my keyboard to get the initial keyframe here. And one thing is that I have to mimic this pose to make him look like this. So I will take his feet first of all, and I will use my middle mouse button and J on the keyboard and then move so that it will snap. So I know where I'm snapping. And in this way, if I will use the other leg, if I'll take the other leg and press J and move it with the middle mouse button, so what it will do is that it will help me to get the exact position. Otherwise, if you're not using J or and the middle mouse button, you are not snapping. And when you are not snapping, maybe your character will not be fine. Okay. So other thing I can do here is that I can take this leg here and a little bit rotate. You can see that it is rotated to the other side. So again, I will press E on my keyboard to get to the rotation. I will press J again, and with the middle mouse button, I will rotate it to this side slightly. Okay. Oh, sorry. I was supposed to press J. I pressed G by mistake. So that's it. So I know just one snap I used there. I will select this one, J, and middle mouse button and rotate to the other side. Now, legs are fine. Now let's see with the like what I can do with the hip. The hips, I will not move it forward, because I will move it forward, the character will fall down, because the character is not get it's his whole weight is now not balancing. So you have to think about that. So in reality, if you are moving his hips away from forward to the legs, so he will be disbalanced and he will fall down. So better is to move it little bit back, not too back, because he will fall back. So you have to balance it in a way that it will not look unrealistic. Now what I will do here is that I will take his hip, okay, and I will rotate the hip something like this. Sorry, it is the pelvis, not the hip. Hip is this big, huge circle. That also you can rotate, but I don't want to rotate that one. I will keep it as it is. Now splines. So this spline first, a little bit, not too much. Then this spline, a bit more. And this spline I will rotate upwards, just like this. Just like in the image that there is. But notice that it's not creating this kind of a wave that I'm looking for, this something like this. So that I have to mimic here. So here I will move that, move this one here. Yeah. So now that's good. Okay. And I'll take the hip, move it slide back, just like this, and rotate this further. Okay. Takes a little time, but this is how you will get a good result. Okay. Now, elbows. How the elbows are, sorry, shoulders. How the shoulders are going. So I will take the shoulders, both of them, this one, press shift key so that you can select the other one. And then E for rotation, and I will rotate them down like this. Okay, now elbows. Take this elbow, I will take this elbow. And I will rotate this elbow right here. And I can yeah, fine. Okay, now little bit I want to move these shoulders, so I will take the shoulders, rotate them a little bit in, not too much. Okay, now wrist, both of these wrist, I will take it and I will rotate it upwards just like this and bit outward. Now, just notice how his hands are uh, being fisting. Okay, so same sort of style I will apply here. So what I will do here is that I will take all these fingers and rotate it inverse just like this. Okay. And then I will take the upper fingers, all the upper fingers, only the upper ones. And rotate as something like this. Then I will take only the tip of the finger from the both sides and rotate it a bit like so. It gives the same sort of a touch here. Now about the thumbs, I will take the thumbs of the both sides, like from here, here, okay, and I'll try to rotate it in this direction, and take this one, rotate it, slide down just like this, okay, and I will take this part, rotate this, and let's take this one and this one, and from here also I can do that. Now about the neck, let's take the neck, move it a little bit down, and then head, rotate it a little bit. And when you're rotating, you have to make sure you are using the right angle, because if I will use this angle, it will go down, or it will be not correct. And if I'm using this outerward, this will rotate on the world like position, like I mean on the screen orientation, not on the object orientation. So you have to make sure that clearly you're doing that. And if you're in the middle of these like accesses, you can also rotate freely, but that's I usually don't use, not all the time, sometimes. Okay. So that's it. For the safe side, what I will do is that I'll select it all and I will press S again on my keyboard. So in case if something is missing, like which is not converted into a keyframe yet, so it will convert. So that's it. Next thing I want here is this anticipation. Okay, so this is our next part. So going to frame 5. So after every 5 frames, we will be animating this. For delay and for creating any sort of delay or overlapping, we might add 1 frame extra or something like that. Now here, I want him to go in this direction, in this position. Simply, I will take his hips and move it down. Okay, so you see that how the hip is down. And once I have done this, I will take the knees and using the same technique, J, and with the middle mouse button, I will move it here. So that other one, I know I snapped it like with the 2 steps. So I will snap this one with the 2 steps as well. So they both are actually following the same the position. And a little bit more, okay, but not too much, a little bit. And then I will take the hip, sorry, the pelvis, And I will move it a little bit back like this. Okay. And I will move this down a little bit. Knees, I can take both knees and try to move them up or fine. Okay. Now here, just notice this spline is going outward, but here it is going inward. So I have to take this spline and mimic the same thing, just like this. Okay. But at the same time, the other splines are going inward. So first, let's move this one out. Then I will take this one and do the opposite of like something like this. Okay. Now it is following the same direction here. Same thing I will do with the top one. Now that's done. Now head. The neck, you can see that it is should go up. And head a little bit up also. So this is how like we mimicked it. And one more thing with the neck you can do is with this part you can do is that you can see it is a little bit squeezed because squish and stretch. The balls when it falls down it squishes. So he is moving down, so this should squish. So what I will do here is that because right now I'm in the world axis, so I can double click this move tool, change the axis orientation from world to object and minimize it for a while, and then you can see that it is showing me the orientation of the object. Now easily I can squish this or stretch this. So I will squish it a little bit like this. Okay, that's it. And I will go back here and change it back to world. I can keep it or object, but I'll change it to world. You can keep it object if you want. No harm in it. Okay, now I will take these elbows again, the shoulders again, because I want to change the direction of the shoulders. Now just see the shoulders is going upwards, like elbows are going upwards. So I will select the shoulders and move it like this, and should go outwards. So I will move them outwards, something like that. And the elbows, I will take the elbows here and move them just like this. Wrist, I will take and just like this as well. And that's it. Now for the safe side, I will select all of it. Already there is a keyframe, but for those like parts only that I have moved. But for the safe side, I will select it all and I will press S on my keyboard so I can have this. Now notice that if I go back and forth, he is doing something like this, which I don't want. So as I told you, we will be doing blocking. Now how we do the blocking? I'll go to the my your favorite editor window, which is the graph editor right now. So I will take the graph editor. Let me move this a little bit outside. Okay. So you have to select everything, and I can press F on my keyboard so I can see the whole picture of what it is. Okay, and then you have to press this step tangent, and once you will do that, okay, better to select all of these as well. Okay, so now if you will notice, it's like nothing here, but just a pose. Okay, it's like a switch on, off, on, off. Okay, so there is nothing in between. So there is no spline in between. That's why it doesn't show anything in between, but it just show here. So this is what actually we want, and we are blocking the poses right now. Now We are done with this. How about to give the same anticipation a bit of a overlapping? Okay, so we will go 2 frames. Okay, not 3 times a frame this time, or maybe like 1 frame, and just give it a little bit overlapping. And how we can give a little bit overlapping is uh, move this down here a little bit more. Okay, and then take this one, move it a little bit forward. That's it. Okay, so what I will do here is that I will go back to my graph editor, and this is already selected my like spline. So I will go to the X of this, and you will notice that I have a spline, like, step tangents. Now step tangents are basically for blocking the way we selected, so it will look like this. Okay, this is exactly what we want. Now here, last exercise when we were working on the overlapping, same technique we will use. We will copy all of it. Okay, and this step tangent, because you can see in the end it is tangent, not step tangent. So I will select all of it, press this step tangent button. Okay, so you can see that the tangent is removed. So same thing I will do with this, and with the hip. And let's see, where do we have this rotation? Rotation, we didn't work on any rotation, so only in the Y position because we moved it down. So I will select all of